You guys aren't so irreplaceable now, are you? I'm approaching geezer level. But forgetting the boogie rabbit hole here. Gluten-free. Tried to chintz out on us, didn't you? Match made in heaven. Match made in heaven. Good morning on this cool Thursday morning here in Las Vegas, where it's currently 59 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. I say it's cool because it's cooler than it has been. It's not really cool in general. But there's Bolt and there's Bailey. I really wasn't planning on vlogging today. It was like I woke up, not vlogging today, and then at some point I decided I'm vlogging today. So guess what? I'm vlogging today. And Bailey wants to vlog with me. Bailey, what do you want to say? She doesn't want to say anything. You know, everybody's talking about AI these days, right? And how it's going to steal our jobs. Well, there's one job that's kind of in the process of potentially stealing that I think most people are okay with. And that is Major League Baseball umpires. The new season just started, and admittedly, I'm not the baseball fan I used to be, but the season just started, and they've implemented this new ABS system, automatic ball strike system, I think it's called. A computer is basically calling balls and strikes, and players can challenge calls. But what we're finding out is how inaccurate some of these umps really are. In the past, there really wasn't much recourse when an ump made a bad call. Now there is. And you know, umps are some of the most reviled people in sports. And a lot of them are kind of on a power trip. You know, their say goes, even if it's wrong. But guess what? You guys aren't so irreplaceable now, are you? We're starting to find out how good and bad some of these umpires really are. It must be rough though, man. You're standing there in a stadium full of 40,000 people, all of them jeering at you making a bad call. And it's been proven and you've been overridden. I think a lot of people wouldn't even mind if they just had no umps at all, as far as calling balls and strikes, because it seems fair. But the ABS system isn't betting on games. It doesn't have personal vendettas against players. So I don't know, I think it's a good addition to baseball, even though I don't really watch baseball. It almost makes you want to watch baseball just to see the umps make bad calls and get overridden. But in today's vlog, I'm hoping to do 2 taste tests if all goes well. Things don't always go well, but that's my plan. Most of my day I'm going to be spending kind of going back and forth between editing and everything else. When I edit videos, I can't just sit there and do it for hours at a time anymore. I have to do it for 30 minutes and take a 30-minute break. It fries me anyways, but it fries me more when I don't take breaks. Oh, on another fast food related item, saw that Reese's has now said they're going to go back to their original recipe that they didn't really admit to change in the first place. After a person from the Reese family called them out, now they're going back. Tried to chintz out on us, didn't you? You tried to go to cheaper materials. I see what you're doing, Reese's. Can't do that. You're classic candy. You can't be chintzing on the ingredients to save money. You can't do that. I think it was only for the seasonal stuff, if I'm not mistaken, but still. Nobody wants some second-rate Reese's egg, man. We want first-rate Reese's eggs. But I'm starting to ramble, so I better stop this right here. I will check back with you a little bit later when something changes. All right, it's time for a freaking 2 taste test. I'm in the car today because I don't have time to get home, because this will melt. This is the strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper flavored shake from Jack in the Box, which I think just came out today. Usually I'm not that on top of things, but today I am. They even have a little Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream sticker on it, which is kind of cute. But what it's supposed to be is a Dr. Pepper flavoring, vanilla base, strawberry syrup, and that should cover all the bases, right? It should. But just to see exactly how close to get to the original, I've got one of these bad boys here to try out as well. So we're gonna try out the shake with the original drink and see how close they got it. Even though some people think that's a pointless test, I'm gonna do it anyways. I can't say how accurate it's gonna be, but that tastes pretty good, man. That tastes good. I'm not gonna say I get a lot of Dr. Pepper in there, but the strawberry and the vanilla and the whipped cream and whatever else I guess is Dr. Pepper. I think the Dr. Pepper's kind of hiding in the background. It's kind of waiting in the wings. Everything else is pretty forward. Dr. Pepper might be kind of not so prominent, but it's adding something. It's adding a little bit. Somehow I track so much dog hair in here. I just had some dog hair get on the shake from my shirt. Whether it's accurate or not, it almost doesn't matter because it tastes pretty good. Now I've had the Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream before, but let's just give it a little taste and see how at least how they pair. Even if it's not accurate, maybe they pair well. Go back and forth here. Perhaps not surprisingly, the Dr. Pepper is much more prominent in the Dr. Pepper. But man, those pair well together. Sipping on this while sipping on this, that's a match made in heaven. I'm not sure I get the Dr. Pepper as much as the strawberry and the cream part, but it's pretty good, and they pair well, so. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. Now, the price was about $4.79 for the regular, which I think is about that many calories. I think it's like a 480 calories and it costs $4.80. Man, that's a good pairing. That is a good pairing. If you want to try this out, bring one of these with you. You will not be disappointed. Match made in heaven. Match made in heaven. That's right. But while I'm here, I've got a second taste test for you. That's right. A bonus taste test in the car. Now, this is one that maybe isn't the most exciting thing to ever try out, but when you get to geezer level like I'm getting, you know, I'm approaching geezer level. I'm 58 years old this year. So I wanted to try these gluten-free Cheez-Its that just came out, because the older you get, the more you get sensitive to everything. Like, everything bothers you. So I wanted to try those against the originals and see how they compare, because, you know, everything bothers my stomach these days. Let's try them out. All right, so we've got regular Cheez-Its on the left and the gluten-free Cheez-Its on the right. Visually, I don't see much difference, except for maybe a little more salt on the regular Cheez-Its. They look similar. Maybe the gluten-free Cheez-Its are a little bit darker, but otherwise pretty close. So this taste test is dedicated to all those gluten-sensitive people out there, or just digestively sensitive. Digestively sensitive? I don't think that's right, but you know what I'm talking about. Here we go. First taste test. And I know my Cheez-Its. I love them, so if they're not very good, I'll let you know. I'm not married to Cheez-Its. If they're not good, I'll tell you. Here we go. First impression, they're better than I thought they were going to be. I mean, they're pretty good, but they're missing something. What are they missing? Good thing I got some regular Cheez-Its here to compare to. What's different? What is it? Let's see. There's a slight difference. Not a huge difference. If you're gluten sensitive and you can't have Cheez-Its, it's a pretty good alternative. But let me try back and forth here. Gluten-free, regular. Let me cleanse my palate with a Dr. Pepper shake here. My first impression is that they pretty much nailed it. I mean, for gluten-free, that's pretty close. To my gluten-free brethren out there, absolutely recommend this. I don't think you'll be disappointed. There's a minute difference, though. In texture, the gluten-free, they might be a little bit more brittle. They seem like they're, I mean, just a tad. And then flavor-wise, it's just not quite as strong. And there's not quite as much salt. It's almost just like all the flavors brought down about 20%, and the texture's hardened about 20%. I think that's probably within the margin of error, though. I think, you know, I think people are going to play. I don't think they're well, you know, because you know, gluten-free. I think it was needed. I think it was necessary. I think they did a good job. I don't know if you can get much closer to the real thing than this. So I think they did a fine job with the gluten-free Cheez-Its. By the way, on the ingredients, it looks like the gluten-free has gluten-free flour blend as the number1 ingredient, whereas the regular Cheez-It just has enriched flour. So that's probably the main difference. But you know what, though? Not a huge difference. I'm kind of liking them. Maybe not as much as the original, but I do kind of like them. I've got kind of a consumer tip for you here. I was on Nextdoor this morning, and someone was complaining they went to the gas station and used their debit card, and they put a $175 hold on their card. They seem surprised by that. They've always done that to me, so it's not new to me. But my consumer tip is don't use your debit card to pay for gas. In fact, also don't use your debit card when you're handing it off to someone you don't see it again. Like a fast food window where it disappears your card. I only use my debit card when I'm physically inserting it in the machine myself. That's it. Any other time, I use a credit card, and there's a good reason for that. Let's compare the two scenarios. You use your debit card at the gas station, and someone skims the machine, and then they have your card number, versus a credit card. Would you rather have them clear out your bank account while you hope to get the money back, or even legitimately put a $175 hold on your bank account? Or would you rather have the credit card deal with the hold, or have them deal with the skimmers? I know what I would pick. Let them deal with it. I don't want it coming out of my bank account with the funds I need. Now, the caveat on that is that you got to make sure you pay off your credit card every month. Otherwise, you're paying interest on stuff like gasoline, which you don't want to do. That's your consumer tip for the day. I came out here to do taste test number 3, but before I get to taste test number 3, I'm gonna go off on a quick tangent here. Now, I saw the trailer for that Michael Jackson movie coming out later this month, starring his nephew, which it looks kind of interesting. But when I saw the trailer, I immediately went down a quick mental rabbit hole. I wonder if any of you guys have ever gone down this rabbit hole. So, when I saw it, the first thing I thought it was was a Jackson song called Blame It on the Boogie. And then that immediately made me think of how many songs in the 70s had the word boogie in it. And there's quite a few of them. And surprisingly, a lot of them are in my Spotify library, because I do go through my 70s phases. I'm just trying to think, off the top of my head, no camera cuts. No, there's no sheet or anything around here. Look, no sheet. I just got a dirty table. How many can I come up with off the top of my head? Here we go. No camera cuts. I'm going to start off with Boogie Nights by Heatwave. 2 of them by Casey and the Sunshine Band. I'm Your Boogeyman and Boogie Shoes. You had Boogie Wonderland by Earth, Wind and Fire. Boogie Oogie Oogie by A Taste of Honey. Blame It on the Boogie by the Jacksons. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Is that pretty good? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more than that. I had to just go down the boogie rabbit hole. But forgetting the boogie rabbit hole here, it's time for another taste test. It is the Mr. Pibb Thrillin Vanilla, which reminds me of the boxing match, the Thrilla in Manila, between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, which most young people don't even care about. So this is the third and likely final Mr. Pibb taste test I'm going to do, because I don't think there's anything Mr. Pibb related coming down the pipeline anytime soon. If you enjoy my Mr. Pibb taste test, this will be it. Again, I don't think there's a zero version. This is just the 240 calorie regular version. Nice pose for the thumbnail, huh? Let's take a quick sniff. You know what? It smells exactly like you would think it does. It smells like soda with some vanilla in there. Does that bottle look kind of dirty? I don't know, the bottle looks kind of dirty. I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm gonna ignore the fact that it looks dirty. You know what? I like it. I like it. I've had there's a lot of vanilla sodas out there, and you know, they have their fans, and no disrespect to the vanilla soda fans out there, but a lot of them don't taste right to me. I don't know if they go too heavy on the vanilla, if it's fake vanilla, I don't know. But once again, whoever's behind Mr. Pibb these days is just crushing it. To me, it tastes a little bit like cherry vanilla. Or is this supposed to be cherry vanilla? It says Thrillin Vanilla, but on the side it says Kickin' Cherry meets Thrillin Vanilla. So there is cherry in here. See, I'm right. I'm right for a change. Let me taste one more time. See, the vanilla's not overpowering. It's there. It's right in the center. It's not too far on one extreme or the other. It's a nice balance. Once again, Mr. Pibb, out of the park with the ABS system in place. I don't know if this is a permanent flavor or if it's just a limited time, but I do like it. I'm not sure I would necessarily take it over regular Mr. Pibb, but I would certainly like a zero version of this, because regular sugar wrecks me. Not that I prefer the flavor of of zero sugar, but regular sugar just doesn't sit well with me. Like I said earlier, I'm getting old. I'm sensitive to everything. All the flavors are there, nothing's overpowering, not overly artificial tasting, so good job for the third time this year from me to Mr. Pibb. Now, a bit off topic, but if you are new to these vlogs, once again, welcome to them. But also, I started vlogging about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago this week. And all those vlogs were member videos before I turned memberships off on Freaking Reviews. But they're in an unlisted playlist. I will share that playlist with you, and you can watch all like 50-something vlogs from last year at your leisure, and you can kind of see the evolution of the vlogs. They kind of start a little bit different than they are now. You know, they kind of evolved over a year. So if you're interested in watching the evolution of these vlogs, I'll share a playlist in the description below. By the way, I took a long nap today, which always ends up messing me up. I'm in this nap phase, man. I can't get out of it. I take a nap, and then I can't sleep at night, and then I don't get enough sleep the next day, and then the next day I need a nap again. It's a vicious cycle. And one more thing also regarding the weeds I've discussed many times before, I think the stirrup hoe, aka hula hoe, might be the way to go. I did a little test earlier, actually last night, and I think it's gonna work. So I did this area last night, and it took me about 5 minutes. And it did a pretty good job. I need something to blow all the weeds away. It was relatively low effort, relatively fast. So that might be the solution. So for now, it's gonna be me and my beloved hula hoe tackling these weeds. Well, not right now. I don't feel like it. But at some point I will. You know what's funny is I tend to listen to mostly science channels on my walks, which is funny because when I was in high school, science was my least favorite subject. My problem is I didn't want to learn the basic stuff, but if I had just pushed back past the basic stuff, I would have got some cool stuff, but I was too impatient. Maybe I missed out back then, but it's not too late, right? I'm not that old. Well, that's about it for this day. You know, I was on Reddit earlier, and I was reading this discussion of kind of older people a lot of them are kind of not being very nice towards some of the younger generations, some of the younger millennials, the Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas. And all younger generations are called slackers. Watch Back to the Future. Marty McFly's principal called him a slacker. There's an old saying out there that says something along the lines of, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, and then the cycle repeats. So if you believe we're in hard times, it's going to be up to the Gen Zers and the Gen Alphas to lead us to the other side of this. We need to support our Gen Z and Gen Alpha friends as best as we can, and be patient with them if they're acting a little bit immature. Except for when they're riding their e-bikes down the street doing wheelies. I don't have patience for that. But that's a topic for another day. This day is over for me, and I'm going to call it. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.